and they were under the cloak. So that is the what they call it, ayat concerning those people who are considered as his family. The wife is not considered as his family. We are talking about blood. Any questions that you want to ask? Or are you waiting for others to ask question? So basically, yeah, Hazmani.
No, I mean basically apa yang Shida cuba cakap ni sama macam yang video yang sehantar tadi lah, yang itu yang Syiah dengan Sunni diorang argue kita kena follow Quran and Sunnah, but then tak ada pun yang cakap, yang ada hanyalah follow Quran and Ahlul Bait macam tu lah kan.
Not denying that sunnah, yeah, because the interpretation by virtue of the mediator is hadith. You won't be able to understand the hadith unless and until you have the ahli bait, the family members of Rasulullah to interpret. Wallahu alam. Because the way I see it, if you were to ask me whether I am Sunni or Shia, I am none. I'm not both. Okay, I don't believe in Sunni and Shia. I believe in there is the word of Allah says that do not disunite. So therefore, this unity comes from all the what they call it, all the sects that we have. Yeah? So many sects that we have. You know, is the issue of dispute. If you look at even the Sunnah Jamaah pun ada dispute between one. Then the dispute, even we are in what they call it, in one mazhab Shafi'i. We still have a case that goes to court, Muhammad bin Daud, which I already passed it over to you. That is a clear indication within the one mazhab we can interpret that whether the other group of people is Islam or not, and then you deserve to be killed and things like that. These are not correct interpretation of the Quran. What I'm trying to say here is that bottom line is that Al-Quran and Hadith, you cannot deny them, their existence. Yeah, the primary and secondary element. Tolong me. The primary and secondary, there is a point. There is a primary and secondary condition, which is the Al-Quran is the primary data, and then the secondary data that that can reinforce the primary condition is the secondary data, which is authority, the secondary authority of hadith, yeah, and also sunnah, the act of Rasulullah or the words of Rasulullah. So both combined would reinforce the Al-Quran. Yeah. Soalan banyak. How do we answer if newcomers of Islam and non-Muslim ask, why do we have so? Same goes for Jews. The same goes for Christianity. So this is not a new issue for Muslim alone. Okay. Christian have you have that hadith, right? Only one that is the truth. Yeah. Jews have 72, only one that is correct. Christian has 73. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. Something along that line. Yeah, 70, only one, 71, only one for the Christian, and we Muslim has 73 sect groups and only one is correct. So everyone is saying that I am correct, which is not right. Yeah. I still remember Khalid Al-Walid when he kills a person, when that person mengucap asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna muhammadar rasulullah, he was surrendering himself, and what happened was he actually take the sword and kill that person. The report, when people reported the case to Rasulullah, Rasulullah asked him why you kill that person. He said that it is just a bluff. Yeah, he is trying to run away from his what they call it, responsibility. That he do not mean a man to convert. In that sense, Rasulullah asked him a number of times, and then he was quite angry when he said that why don't you open his heart to see whether he is a real Muslim or not. So no what they call it, no uh, force, yeah, like ikrafidin, there is no force in Islam to convert somebody else. Why there was and this started when the hadith, yeah, the hadith takain, the one that is in the video, whereby the according to the hadith, the one that is to continue is Ali, and then some of the Sunni says no, it is not Ali but Abu Bakar. So this unity comes from that moment when he died, you know. So basically, it's up to us to look up and dig up the stories, what happened the moment when he was about to die, you know. You will discover a lot of things. Uh, so it's good for us, jurists, people of legal thinkers, to find the truth. We are here to find the truth. It is not about us to be siding. We are not to side, because as a judge later on, you are not to side. You have to put your feelings or your belief or your your stand aside, and then you have to be fair. You have to look at the material things, that is the truth. So you cannot deny the truth. The truth is,
So,
yes.
um, you know how we have a lot of like we have Shafi, Hanbali, Hanafi, and then we also have the different of sects, which is Shia,
Mm,
Sunni, and what's the other one? Sufis.
yeah.
But as a lot of people learn learn all this, and then
Mm,
people have differences of opinion. So which one do is true? And you know how some people believe, oh, only what I believe in is correct, and I only I will enter heaven, or people, like as the video that you sent, yang pas kata orang yang percaya pas, and that is true because when I grew up in Kota Baru, they
yes.
actually did say that in the stadium buat semayang hajat, orang-orang yang sokong BN semua
Betul,
masuk neraka.
betul, betul.
So how do you know that what you believe in is true? And because everybody wants to enter heaven, but like, how do you know?
You don't listen to people.
Don't listen to people.
Don't listen to people and stick to what do you understand about Quran and Hadith.
But so for example, like if I do believe in like either Sunni or Sufi or Shia, and then uh, and then you have the video of what the one that you sent, the argument between the two teenagers about the Sunni
Mm,
and Shia. So
mm-mm.
which one is
Which one
correct?
is correct, right? You are in dilemma. The thing is, you do not be judgmental about others by saying that I am right, you are wrong. That is the point whereby you are arrogant. You know, you are arrogant to say that others are incorrect. That is that is what arrogant is. Only Allah have that arrogance. You know, if you refer to the words of Al-Quran, he is trying to say to us that I am the only one that is able to say I am arrogant. Arrogance belongs to God. So you and me, we cannot be arrogant. Why we cannot be arrogant? Because that is the criteria of Allah. He has every right to be arrogant. So it is being put into ourselves as a test, because you at any time can be arrogant. You and me can be arrogant at any time. One example is that I am right, I'm on the right path, you are on the wrong path. Therefore, the Christian, the Jews, the Hindus, the Buddhists, every one of them is wrong. Just keep quiet. You know, if you are able to evaluate that you think that your thinking is right, then just continue with your thinking. Why you have to be judgmental and tell others that they are wrong? Who are you? You know, who are you to decide that people will go to heaven and hell? So does everyone else. If the Christian are to do the same thing, if the Jews are doing the same thing, so does the Indian and the Hindus, the Buddhists, you know, everyone in this world. If they were to do that, just follow whatever your religion is. If you are a Jew, then you follow your 60 three requirement of a Jew. For Christian, you are to follow your Bible, yeah, the rules that in the Bible. For Muslim, we are to do all the basic things that we are asked to. Then that's it. The issue of solat, tangan tepi, tangan tengah, tangan atas, you know, why create that problem? You know, just respect people. The thing is that you do not want to respect people, and that is arrogance. That is what Allah doesn't want us to do. So for us as jurists, later on thinkers, we apply the thinking of justice, right? So we cannot go to the extent to justify saying that you are wrong, you are right, unless and until there is factual evidence, yeah? Factual evidence. As far as things that they are doing is incorrect according to the religion. If someone makan daging babi in Islam, right, then obviously it's very clear because it is clearly stated in Al-Quran and Hadith. You know, if someone doesn't believe in Salat, okay, doesn't believe in Salat and making a statement that Salat is not not okay, tak payah Salat, then that is clear, you know, and you don't have to go to the extent of killing that person. You know, he wants to do whatever he wants. He has every rights. You cannot force people to uh, to follow or to be in line with your understanding.
But sir, when you say that, but then we also have all these muftis that keluarkan like fatwas and all, like, oh, saying, oh, this Islamic teaching is salah, like the Nashbadis and all that, the Sufis, they're sesat, and also how does that come into jurisprudence? Because you're not supposed to bring in apa
They are going to be so
biasness.
they are going to be answered for their decision making to label somebody else when those people who believe in Allah, you know, even the Christian and the Jews.
Okay.
This is not during within the boundaries of Islam. Okay, the word Islam itself is what?
Peace.
Yeah, peace. Does it mean Islam started with Muhammad?
No.
No, it started with Adam, right?
Yeah.
So
And then it
for all the prophets,
evolved.
yeah, and there is no evolvement in terms of the teaching. Teaching is one, to respect
Mm-hmm.
Allah, to know that Allah is one. There is only one God. That's it. From right the moment of Adam until today. So any religion that believe in God, then who are you to decide in saying that they are wrong? We are not here to decide others. We are to worry about ourselves because we are going to be answerable to God ourselves, not towards somebody else. Your account with God is only you, you know, as
Yes, sir.
yeah. So as far as legal is concerned, you are to be based on whatever rules. If you are a Muslim, if you are a judge of a Muslim nature, if you want to judge, then you look at the principle of Islamic law. Now, the principle of Islamic law itself is a problem because, according to the past people, the Islamic law that we learn, we all of you and me, we are sinners, yeah, because we learn the British law, the European laws, or the Western laws, which is non-Sharia. Now, the question is, what is Sharia? Okay,
Uh,
what is Sharia? Sharia is to do what? What is the purpose of Sharia? You have to question, you have to find answers. Why Sharia is there? What is the main purpose of Sharia? To bring justice or not? I'm asking all of you, 55 of you. What is the
Yes, it's to teach.
to
The
teach what?
purpose is to teach, not to do things. It's just it's not to hurt anyone, but it's for you to how do I say it? I'll let somebody else try.
What is Sharia? What is the purpose of Sharia, guys?
I think it goes back to the objective of protecting the religion, the life, and the mind.
Okay, good.
Uh,
Property.
yes,
Yeah.
property, lineage.
Okay, good. Does the Western law contradict with that aim?
No, but
Be-
I think Western law does not take into consideration the protection of religion. They are more to
Protection.
a personal individual protection.
So, can you generalize in saying that all the Western laws are null and void?
No,
Uh, you are to reject only those that contradict with the Islamic law, right?
yes,
So, law of torts, law of land law, okay, CPC, penal code, all those. What is the purpose?
mm.
What is the purpose of all these laws that you have learned so far? Are they not Sharia to bring
But
justice to people?
yes,
What is the purpose of all the laws that you have learned so far? Is it something along the line to just be happy and try to regulate people to do something of a negative nature? No.
mm.
We are learning noble art of trying to find justice for the people. According to our nation, what the nation wants, you know, that is what we want, what we are supposed to bring to the society. If you become the judge, obviously you are to bring justice to the society. Cannot everyone interpret in their own ways. Obviously, you have to be subjected to the law of the country. So Indonesia is different, Malaysia is different, Singapore is different, Brunei is different, right? So each country is having their own laws. The purpose is to bring justice. Otherwise, there's no point for us to learn law in the first place. So for UIA people, they would say those people of us in UITM, we are going to hell just because we learn law, the Western law. I disagree. Okay, so you have no right to say others that they are doing wrong if you don't really understand. If I'm talking about hudud, yeah, maybe, yeah. Hudud is a special criteria of Islamic law that you have to respect. You have to, that is the nature of what God asked us to do. But even that, hudud doesn't being implemented during Rasulullah period of time, because he knew that our understanding of the religion is not that good. Even those people back then, you know, apatah lagi sekarang. You don't bring justice to people and then you try to implement killing of people for or cutting off people's hand just because the scriptures are saying so. What is your duty then in the first place? Have you done your job? Have justice been given to the society? Okay, soalan.
Chat box by
Chat.
Elhan.
Can we say the Sunnah in Shia is more than orthodox compared to Sunni? I don't know. Go back to history and then you will see it branched out the same day that Rasulullah died. There are a group of people who believe in Ali. There are a group of people who believe in Abu Bakr. I want you to think. I want you to investigate to know what really happened. Now you have so many information out there in the internet. You know, the books that you have online. You know, you can read and understand what happened. And once you discover, then you don't condemn other people. The key word is to not to condemn other people. Never ever do that. Okay, you just follow whatever you believe in, and nobody is to be judgmental towards you. Soalan?
So in
Yeah.
like civil law school of thoughts, like there's natural law and um, positivism. So
Yes.
in understanding Islamic jurisprudence, the schools of thought is actually the sects or the mazhab.
Okay. Islamic jurisprudence. Actually, there is no Islamic jurisprudence actually. Okay. Islamic jurisprudence is basically the primary and the secondary data is the only one that is valid. Okay. You cannot have a law that you create. Say for example, a parliament create a law that contradicts with the hadith and Al-Quran. If you create a law that goes against Al-Quran and Hadith, therefore they're automatic nullified. So any ijma of ulama, yeah, ijma is consensus of ulama, where they can have what they call it, what they call it, fatwa, right? Fatwa is just opinion, legal opinion, and their legal opinion is based on what their interpretation of Sunnah and Quran. So it is non-binding. Ijtihad is the one that you decide whether you want to follow the fatwa or not. They are not authoritative in forcing you to follow what their decision is. Say for example, Buddha in terms of yoga, right? So they came up with an opinion, their legal opinion, and that legal opinion, if you don't want to follow, then you don't have to follow, because you have to make your own decision, which is your own ijtihad. They cannot force it onto you. However, they can force it onto you when they create a legal law. Okay, that legal law that they create is they formalize that thing into law, and obviously, being in a country where you have to respect every laws that is validly created, then you have to follow lah. If it is not in the form of legal law, meaning established legal rules in terms of legislation, then definitely it is not law. You have every right to interpret, because the only thing as a Muslim you are to follow only hadith and Quran. That is what good about Islam. Okay, nobody is forcing you. Allah is never forcing you to believe on a certain group of people and saying that they are the one that you have to follow. Mandatory. No, it's up to you to decide. Because the things that they have done so far is bring negativity to the Islamic world. We see we in Malaysia, we don't have any problem of that mazhab punya problem. When we go to Pakistan, Bangladesh, Afghanistan, I mean, they are killing each other, Muslim and Muslim, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, I mean, killing among Muslim. Aduh, what is happening to our religion? Mazhab, for example, we are not allowed to adopt any rulings we want under Mazhab Shafi'i, and simply omit the ruling we are not so in favor under the Mazhab Shafi'i. If we choose Mazhab Shafi'i, we need to adopt the whose ruling. Why? Can we sort to adopt ruling under the Mazhab together with other Mazhab? Yes. You must be able to make some kind of decision. If, say for example, the person who is declaring that I am with this mazhab and I want it to be the one that is decided, then obviously it might be an influence that you can adopt that mazhab opinion. However, you can always fight, in saying that this is just one opinion. Doesn't mean that the mazhab is the one that is mandatory for us to follow. There are other mazhab that needs to be recognized also, because their interpretation Because whatever mazhab, what that we have like hundreds of mazhab, right? If you go around the world, googling Islamic sects, we have hundreds of sects in mazhab. Which one is correct? So all these cannot, all these mazhab cannot go against the main principle things that is being adopted as Islamic law. Yeah. So Islamic law, by virtue of their mazhab, it is only enforced to those people within the territory that they are in control. Otherwise, uh, you cannot have that legitimacy of controlling other people. Too bad lah. Yeah? People wants to be they want to interpret. So luckily that the past is not controlling us. Otherwise, we will be Taliban. Yeah, we would definitely see America creating havocs in the country, because the mentality, the mentality of some of us, they become so extreme. Yeah. And that is what Allah doesn't want us to be. We cannot be extreme people. Yes. Soalan.
So,
Hmm.
you know how in Kelantan you have to tutup aurat and all, and this applies to not only Muslims but also non-Muslims. It doesn't that go against our Article 10, freedom of expression on how you want to dress?
Yeah. Okay. Coming back to Islam, is it a public or a private religion?
It's supposed to be private, but they're making it as public
Public.
in Kelantan.
So the statement that is in Al-Quran is given as a mandatory for everyone to follow, or is it directing the word of you ought to cover your body, right? Is it meant for everyone, irrespective whether they are Islam or not, or is it mentioned only for you?
It's for it. It's not specific, right? To
The
cover
word,
our ornaments. It
no,
never said where is our arat, but our ornaments.
that is your interpretation, obviously, right? But
Yes.
that ayat, is it meant for you or for everyone else as a mandatory?
For Muslims.
Muslim means whom? The whole or individual?
Uh,
When you
I'm
read
not too sure.
when you read a Quran, it
I
is
don't
what?
wanna.
No. These are the things that we have. We have to discuss. I mean, go guys. Some of you might be thinking, "Oh my God, what are we doing? Trying to go against the norm." Uh,
For me, because what I remember from the ayat is, cover what is not usually seen. But our they say that our hair is the aurat and all that, right? But nowadays, hair is normally seen. Like, what
the
can
ayat
you?
is meant for whom? If you are a lady, the
Yes,
ayat is for you or to the whole other Muslim.
for I don't know.
You are reading the ayat, right? You're reading
Yeah,
the ayat. If the ayat comes to you, you are able to read it. Then the ayat is speaking to whom? To you, right?
to me, yeah.
Yeah. So if you say I don't believe in it, then it's up to you and God. Up to you when you face God and you say that I have given you the opportunity for you to read my commands and you deny it. So your account with God. It's not
Yes.
account with other people. It's not somebody who are in control to punish everyone else in saying that you ought to abide certain things. The thing is, what I'm trying to say is that, guys, think, yeah. Jurisprudence is whereby if you are sentimental and you are a religious person, cannot tahan with all this statement, right? You are going to be in a very difficult situation. Okay, we are legal thinkers where we are supposed to investigate, yeah? And the investigation that we need to do is to try to think outside the box. Okay, don't just follow, because we are not followers. We are thinkers, whereby we are to investigate the whole thing. Only then you are able to find the truth. If you are the followers, no point, as I already mentioned, no point to become law student. Okay, I have failed my duty to impart the ability for you to think on your own. You are not to follow other people. You have to criticize everything. You have to analyze everything. You have to investigate everything. That is our nature, because our field is so important for the society to find what is the correct, what is the correct thing. We cannot be blinded and just follow and things that we cannot, uh, you know, we cannot think on our own. Allah have given us, Islam is so simple. Why make it so difficult? Okay, but I thought we cannot simply mix the ruling between mazhab based on ceramah I heard, but I understood. What is your understanding? If you want to understand, you want to follow whatever mazhab that you want, go ahead. I'm not saying that all mazhab is wrong. When the mazhab goes against the principle, the primary principle of Islam, which is hadith and Quran, definitely you have to reject. Okay, macam for those yang apa kayangan, agama kayangan yang ayah pin and things like that, that is ridiculous.
Kerajaan langit.
Kerajaan langit. So if you were to follow that, obviously you have every rights to follow, right? There is no compulsion in Islam. But if you were to follow, then you are going to be answerable to God. Okay, God has given you some the brain that you have. It is so important for you to analyze, investigate, rationalize, and if you are misled, then too bad lah.
But so back to my question just now. So when or like in Kelantan bila kita kena saman for tak menutup aurat and all,
Mm.
and that goes against the law lah kan sir, for them to even make such laws.
If you want to create laws, then you publish a law. If you publish
Yeah.
a law, then the law is, you question whether the law is valid or not. Okay?
Yes.
You cannot simply say, hey, you buka pintu tengok orang neighbor pakai shorts, you kata, excuse me, are you Muslim? Do you know what is your religion asking you to do? How can you do that?
Yeah. But that's what they're doing. Like you go out to the shopping malls and then they have this, we call it the moral police. They'll come and summon you, give you
Where,
fines.
where do you stop?
Huh?
You challenge in court lah. My wife kata, if you're not happy with all these people, you challenge them.
Yes.
Apa yang that lady tu, yang kita tahu apa tu, yang that lawyer tu.
Siti
Siti
Kasim.
Kasim.
Siti Kasim. Siti Kasim doesn't mean that Siti Kasim is wrong all the way. Come on, man. You cannot label a person and saying that she is a kafir, she is a unbeliever. Cannot. We are not supposed to do that. There are things that is what she said is correct. We as legal thinkers, we have to investigate, rationalize, analyze. We are not believers, just simply believers. We cannot be in that position, because that is our nature. That is the task that is given by our profession, to find what is the truth. You just cannot simply in saying that, oh, I am this mazhab, I cannot. Come on, grow up. Okay, nobody have any avenues to control your life, except Al-Quran and Hadith. That's it. Other than Al-Quran and Hadith, nobody is to be able to come and say that this is my interpretation of what you are supposed to do. Come on. If they cannot prove that it is not in existence in the direct interpretation of Al-Quran and Hadith, then you have the right to reject. Soalan? Oh, orang yang belajar agama ni akan kata ini yang penting belajar jurisprudence ya. It might go to the extent that people might label you as bukan Islam. So what? Okay? Because if you were to follow people just because they are there, I mean in a position of authority, doesn't mean that they are right. The only right thing in your life would be Al-Quran and Hadith. Nothing else. Everything else is just interpretation. That's it. Your interpretation and my interpretation is different. But your interpretation and my interpretation cannot go directly against Al-Quran and Hadith. And Al-Quran and Hadith cannot contradict each other. Any Hadith that comes along that contradicts with Al-Quran, automatically you reject. Why? Because Hadith is not superior to Al-Quran. Al-Quran is the one, our constitution. So therefore, anything that we learn that in constitutional law, right? Nothing that is the creation of the law by anyone can contradict the provision of the constitution. So the same thing, we in Islam, our constitution is Al-Quran, our Dusturina. So nobody can come and say that my interpretation, my mazhab, which is in the first place, there is not supposed to be a mazhab. I waited the day where the mazhab is going to be abolished. All mazhab. Enough. It creates so much chaos in our society, in Muslim society.
So, not relating to mazhabs, but why is it taking so long for the parliament to actually make laws on child marriage, like banning child marriage?
Banning child marriage?
Yeah. Why
Because
is it
the
taking
provision
so
of
long?
the provision under the law, Islamic law, Al-Quran, is not prohibiting us to marry on certain age. Al-Quran is saying that as long as you achieve akal balik, right, meaning your maturity as woman, when you have your first period, when you receive your menses, right, so you are able to get married. So how come a human law can come in and say that 16 or 18 or 21 only you can get married?
Because the development of the body, a lot of child marriages, if you see that, because child should not bear, when they're a child, they should not bear another child, and there's a lot of responsibilities into it.
Then make sure that the responsibility are there. You can create all laws to make sure that justice is being done for the children. So for meaning the children of the children, meaning the offspring of the child marriage, right? If they
Yeah.
are 12, if they were to they were to born offspring, then obviously they must make sure that this offspring, the child, the newborn child, is being taken care of. And if they cannot do that, then you can come in and punish them. But you do not hold a person from getting married. Because the Quran is very clear. Just because you think that they are unable to get to properly care of their child, therefore you deny the right of the person to get married. That is wrong. You can do a lot of things in order for you to make sure that if they want to still get married, then make it proper. You can impose some regulation without the ability for you to stop them from getting married. For those yang kahwin empat, you look at those people. For those, ada dua benda yang I nak cakap. Ayat Al-Quran, if you refer to those yang the women have to cover themselves, the sentence before that is for the men to lower down their gaze. Why that one is not a law? We have men that is gazing everyone. We are in the first place, Allah has already asked us to do that. We like to we as guys, we like to see other girls. That is against the clear instruction of Allah in the Quran. Then the sentence continue with the woman to cover themselves. That is one thing. Okay, so I don't know. I'm doing this to make you think. Yeah. Remember, I am not right. Right. Anything that I say is to be analyzed, criticized, investigated. You do not take what I say as authority, because I cannot do that. I want you to think.
So you know why there's no such laws? Because 90% of the people in parliament are men. They're not gonna make laws like that, so
Yeah, true. When it comes to marriage, right? Kahwin empat, digalakkan kahwin empat. I mean, if you look at that sentence, that Al-Quran, if, say, for example, you can marry two, three, or four, but if you can't, therefore, can't do justice, then only one. Meaning, which one is the what they call it, general rule? Which one is the exception to the general rule? People will say the first sentence of kahwin dua tiga empat is the general rule. No, the way I see it as kahwin satu, and that is the general rule. When you are able to have justice to make sure that you are able to control or take care of your wife, then you can marry two, three, or four. It's the other way around. Kenapa you kahwin dua, tiga, empat, and then you are not able to give justice to your wives? This is what happening in our society today. They are going along the line that they want, this is my right, you don't stop me. This is what Al-Quran is saying. I have the right to marry two or three or four. You know?
so they like to follow that.
Sorry.
People like to follow, oh, boleh kahwin 3 4 because sunnah Nabi, Nabi did that. But they don't realize that Nabi did only married one virgin yang muda, which was Aisha. All others are janda. He
The
married
issue is not
them
about
because
gender or dara. It is about you able to give justice.
And the purpose, I think,
because from my understanding is the
Hizbullah
prof
kata, sorry Yasmin kejap
so because the Prophet married 11 is
Ah.
for the purpose of helping the Muslim women at the time, they were, because the religion was new, so the
No.
women
Sorry,
Prophet,
Azmullah, we cannot justify why he get married. The one that we have to identify is whether he is being just or not. Tak kira you kahwin dengan berapa ribu orang pun, the main thing is for you to bring justice. You know, when I say that, I'm referring to the Jews, I'm referring to the Christian, the allowance for them to get married more than one. For the Christian, nanti you marah lah, because nanti you check your religion and look, there is no restriction of marrying only one. But if you go back to history, Nabi-Nabi ramai yang kahwin banyak. They are allowed to do so. Why you have to argue? You argue with God lah. Right? So you just follow whatever God asks you to do. He allows only 4, then you continue with 4. But as I said, you have to start with 1 first. Kalau satu pun you tak boleh bring justice, what's the point of creating a situation of whereby people will say Islam is a unjust religion? You allow people to get married, ramai yang kahwin tu bini semua ada kerja. Dia orang tak boleh provide, and then they are trying to rely on the wife punya situation and self-sponsored. Mana boleh?
sir yang kahwin dua sekaligus tu macam mana, sir?
It is up to that person who wants to get married. If he can bring justice. Now, it is about him and his account with God. Who are you to come in and say, oh, tak boleh lah, You have no rights to say otherwise, because as long as he or she is able to do justice to God, then after all kita ni nak mati, Yeah, all of you and me, we are dying, right? Every day is closer and closer. So eventually, we are going to answer to God. Okay, do not, yeah, do not go in front of God and say that I follow this guy, I follow this. You know, you are only to follow Rasulullah and Al Quran. So that is what I'm trying to say. Yeah, please bear in mind that the Islamic interpretation that we have over the Sharia is creating chaos in our society. The Western world is looking at us negatively because we try to portray that we are much better than the fellow Muslim. Yeah. So the Sunni is saying that the Shia is wrong. The Shia is saying that Sunni is wrong. Enough. You know, enough of doing that. Okay, guys, 5:30. Do you have any question? Dah jadi macam ceramah agama pula. Azibullah? No more, eh?
No.
Dah pening dah.
But I think if you could answer, I think I'm still wonder about the question by Elhanan James, whether what happened, the division Shia and Sunni could be equal to Orthodox and Catholic or issues in Renaissance.
They have their own differences in terms of their interpretation. Let them be, you know. Kenapa you jadi the person that is going to war against the other group just because you have your own belief? This is where basically based on why do you have to follow into a government into war just because they say those countries are their enemies? Don't you have a mind to decide whether that particular enemy is really an enemy? Why follow people's interpretation of whether that person is your enemy or not? Boleh ya?
Yes, sir. So I remember learning about this one I can't remember what's it called, but yang their blood is halal and they're like halal to bunuh. What's that, sir?
So the interpretation is that there are certain blood that is under the what they call it, non-religious people, that if they becomes murtad, that they are under a different zimi or something along that line, Islam zimi or some of you might have that understanding more than me, but the way I see it, you have no rights to decide who is to be killed just because their belief. If they were to do something that is against the Islamic principle, then why do you have to kill in the first place? Let them be.
All right, sir.
If they kill someone, okay, if they kill someone, and killing is something that is universal, that is not wanted and reflected by the law of the land, then obviously you pick up that law. So why you have to have an interpretation of this is this is legal blood that for you to kill. This is not legal. So they are in a line that those who pay tax, you are to protect them. Those who not paying tax, that you are not to protect them. Then it is valid for you to kill them. Oh, oh my God, Rasulullah had never have done that. So why you are doing it? You think you are better than Rasulullah? These new laws that you have that goes against what Rasulullah is practicing, you know, his sunnah and obviously his hadith, right? He never has done that. Why you have to create certain things? Oh, I think I need it to do for administration purposes. Oh my God, you are better than Rasulullah.
But sir, because they I remember I learned that in high school. Isn't that
Hmm.
how can they teach that, you know? Because nanti adalah you lahirkan people that goes into Taliban, the apa, all this ISIS and all that because of the teachings like this, sir.
Yeah, that is the not the the thinking, the ability for thinking is not there. if everyone is able to analyze, criticize, not being forced by indoctrination of people, then they can make their own rational decision. And this is
But
where we come in.
but in high school, I remember it was, you know, certain classes you were not to question because it is what it is.
It is your life and your test that is Allah has given you. So you don't want to be able to go and find in front of Allah and saying that they have asked me to do this, I follow without able to think. Then up to you to think. This is where we are different from other people, because our mindset is to criticize, analyze, to rationalize, all things. You are not to hold on to the set of belief, that belief, it is not really the truth. The truth is anything, as far as Islamic law is concerned, anything that is stated by Al-Quran and Hadith, you cannot go against that. So if you do want to go against that, then it's you and Allah.
All right, sir.
You cannot force people who wants to do sinning. They will do sinning irrespective of whether you have laws or not, right? Tak nak semayang, tak nak zakat, tak nak puasa, all those kind of things are personal, individualistic in nature. You cannot force people. By forcing people, it doesn't make a different. Like Taliban, they force people to wear clothes. Doesn't make any difference because you don't make them understand. Forcing people to do something without their understanding is a big a big mistake. Right? Okay, so guys, enough. I think you dah nak muntah dah dengar ni. So all the best. You have any questions, you can question me later on. So thank you very much. Assalamualaikum. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, sir. I'll use my undi pass to get into heaven.
Yeah, everyone has their own account. Kita jangan fikir pasal orang lain.
This is
Masalah
Kidding.
kita
I
gaduh.
don't believe in them, but yeah.
Don't do that. You are
I
arrogant.
don't believe in that, but yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah, just ikut je you punya account.
All
Worry
right.
about your
Thank you,
account.
sir.
Don't worry about other people punya account.
Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
sir.
Welcome. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Assalamualaikum.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Sarah, Najah, Amir, do you have any questions that you want to ask? I kena remove ya, sorry.